Hey guys, welcome back to Around the Yard. Today we got the 24-inch pullback arm on the 30-inch stroke box wedge machine from Wolfe Ridge. Placed an order for this about a week and a half ago. Showed up in like 3 or 4 days, FedEx, straight here. Shipping was really reasonable, so wouldn't hesitate about ordering parts from Wolfe Ridge. They've got them in stock. They're going to turn them around quick for you guys. Did want to show you here, got my good tape measure. Hopefully you guys can see this. The opening on this box wedge, or on this pullback arm, is 24 and a half, maybe 24 and 9/16. To be fair, that's mounted behind the pusher plate here. So if I go ahead and measure from the front of that pusher out, we're about 23 and an eighth. So I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, that's less than 24. And it is, but very rarely are you cutting anything at 24 inches. This machine I bought to do, 24 to 30 inch stuff, really. When push comes to shove, I've got a TM splitter for the skid loader that splits, I think, all of 30. We can measure that someday, but the idea behind this 30-inch stroke was I'd have two machines that were capable of splitting the same size material. We do have the other pullback arm, and I would imagine that's going to measure out very similar. I can go get that here. All right, we're back. So here's the 30-inch pullback arm. Here's the 24 on the machine. The 30-inch pullback arm, inside to inside, is 30. It's more than 3/4. I'm gonna call it 30 and 7/8. Okay. So 30 and 7/8. The front of this, if I go from, there's like a receiver tube here at the back that the arm slides into, and then the front push plate, right? So if I go from this part, right, the inside of the pullback arm, to the face of the push plate, we're at 1 3/8 inches. So you guys do the math on that. 1 3/8 and 30 and 7/8. So we're a hair under 30. There again, I mentioned to a guy in one of the comments, I bought a 30-inch stroke machine. I got a 30-inch stroke machine as far as I'm concerned. I'm not, you're cutting with a chainsaw here, guys. You got to remember that. If you cut at 30 inches, there's a decent chance that it doesn't fit in here anyway, if it's a 30-inch stroke. You're going to cut under 30. That's the whole idea. So you're going to cut your wood to 28, 29, 27, something over 2 feet, but under 30. Otherwise, you're on the risk of having to recut it anyway and wind up with a cookie at the end. I guarantee you the North Star splitter is probably about the same way. Actually, I measured it on my way out here with the pullback arm. That from the tip of the, now remember, that's got the wedge on the cylinder side and a flat plate on the back, and it doesn't touch here all the way out, which I'm kind of guessing this does. I can see right here in the WD-40 line here, there's where the push plate slides out and stops. There's like a 1-inch gap here, I'm going to assume. But we got this nifty tape measure. We got about 1 1/8, 3/16 or so to this kind of imaginary line here where the gunk stops. This push plate we just determined is about 1 1/4, 3/8 wide. So this face is meeting almost to that edge. I mean, within 1/8 of an inch or so. So it's right there. Anyway, back to that North Star. That's got like a 26-inch opening, 26 and a half, something like that. But that knife doesn't go all the way to the flat plate. It stops short, several inches. So if you're working with really stringy wood, it doesn't cut it all the way. You have to sit there and pry at it. You guys know what I'm talking about. So that's not ideal either. So, at any rate, that's kind of what we got on pullback arms. Like I said, this was reasonable. Shipping was reasonable, and the reason I went from 30 to 24 is so that we could increase those cycle times. Figured you guys would give me a hard time about that, but you know, most of the time, now that I'm paying attention to the size wood that we're cutting here, so we can do bundle wood and fireplace wood and cord wood and that kind of stuff, is I'm going to try very hard to cut it 16 inches or, you know, that 15, 16, 17, kind of that swing. So in my mind, this was kind of a necessity. Didn't think about it initially. Thought, wow, I'll get the 30 inch, that matches the other splitter that we have. But it didn't take into account the extra cycle time of going that extra 6 inches, you know, an extra 6 inches out and an extra 6 inches to pull back in. So, so that's why we went with the 24. Kind of labored that to the end here. We're gonna do one other thing here today. We'll probably do this in several videos. So I don't know if that cut will stay in, but anyhow, we're gonna do probably several videos here today. Try and keep these a little bit more, keep these short and sweet, and to the point. So this was pullback arms. We can get this machine fired up, and maybe we can measure, that's the other thing we can do. We can measure the various stroke settings. So we've got a 30-inch stroke. We just measured that. That's what this thing is set at right now. We'll also set the restrictor plates at the 24 mark and the 18, so you guys can see that. So anyhow, all right, let's get this machine fired up, warmed up, and then we'll run and we'll see what we got here. So stick around. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about these measurements. Like I said, this isn't completely exact, just a Lowe's tape measure here. But trying to give you guys an idea of what you get with the box wedge. So with the box wedge, just so we're clear, if you get the 24-inch stroke, you'd get the 24-inch pullback arm. If you get the 30-inch stroke or 36-inch stroke, you'd get a 30-inch pullback arm or 36. I purchased this extra pullback arm separately. The other thing you're gonna get the box wedge included. Obviously, it's a box wedge machine. And then you're gonna get this bolt-in single way and 4-way. All right, so here's the 4-way on the single knife, and this little holder here is something that Chris added to keep because we got the 30-inch stroke, we got a lot of weight out back. So this is just a pocket that this single wedge fits into, and then this wedge is bolted to this single knife. So this lifts off if I had this unbolted, and then just the single knife would lift out. So we're actually going to try that here probably this weekend. We've got some of those double barrels, and I want to run this single knife, so we're going to give that a shot too. So stick around for that. All right, let's get this machine fired up.